Well, good morning and welcome. Now, every day remind yourself of how blessed you are. There are so many things already going your way. Hey, you made it through a Monday.
Yes.
That's an achievement. So focus on that and then let's take on this Tuesday.
Yes, good morning and welcome to yet another brand new Tuesday edition of the show. By now, we believe the week is in full swing and you're ready for the endless opportunities coming your way.
Yes, indeed. Positive words for you. Absolutely. Be ready to seize that moment when it comes. And that's why we come early every single day just to inspire you and spur you on to do only just amazing things. Hey, welcome. It's your premium breakfast show here on TV. It's Wake Up Nigeria. Good morning to you.
What an amazing way to start your day. We make it a point of call to come bearing the beautiful and of course the right message, and also sprinkle just the right amount of colors to brighten your day.
Speaking of, I see how you set me up. Speaking of bright colors, who else is bright and early this morning but our very own princess of Wake Up Nigeria, Winfred.
Hello, good morning, guys.
How you
doing? You look
weird
good
reason,
as
I
always.
said that and I literally felt like a meme.
Oh,
you guys are also looking really sharp this morning.
Well, I'll tell you something, Winfred. Mary can't keep her eyes off of you.
Yes.
Oh, I've always admitted it. I think Winfrey looks absolutely amazing. Beautiful lady, beautiful body,
Thank
beautiful
you.
everything.
Mary, stop it.
Mazino, yes, blow the air, let me find you well. Yeah, you need that.
Oh, I wish
Thank
someone would
you.
describe me in the same form.
Oh, you
but
look good, by the way. I love your jacket.
Please don't
love your
stop.
Yes, and then I love your shoes as well.
Yeah.
Though I told you that I wasn't going to tell you because you didn't buy from me.
Yeah.
I love this. Yes, at this rate, we'll just use the next 10 minutes. So let's just move
Oh
on.
boy. In any case, it's about this great morning here with us. It's very, very interesting that you guys joined in, and we appreciate the fact that you're making us the first people that you see, the first people that say good morning to you for a Tuesday.
Yes.
My name is Mazino Appeal.
And of course, my name is Mary Bashua Alimi. There's so much to look forward to on each episode. So remember, you can use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC, and that's across all social media platforms, just to be a part of the show.
You can also watch us live from anywhere that you might be. All you need to do is make sure that you're using the mobile app, which you can download on your phone on iOS or on Google Play Store. We also implore you guys to follow us across the social media handles. It's at TVC Connect on every single platform. Now, let's let you guys know what we have in store for a Tuesday, shall we?
Okay, so talking about stuff happening, we kick off things with health discussion, talking about key facts to preventing avoidable blindness in Nigeria. And we'll be joined by seasoned optometrist, Dr. Opare Collins Akobome.
Now, should we try? Hang on a second, got that wrong. Now, we should be trying new foods every single day, or hey, try this. Don't punish your children when they refuse to eat. All right, today on Parenting, we will be discussing the topic picky eating in children, something I'm going through right now with my 6-year-old with Oluyemisi Agoro, an astute HR professional with almost 10 years of multi-industry experience. She is a well-experienced career woman and a mother, and is passionate about listening to and sharing motherhood ideas with mothers who need them.
And of course, we will be having Feyi Tayo Eniola Fon, popularly known as Feyi Sax, Olivi rather. Feyi Sax is a fast-growing music minister, and we cannot wait to hear a performance this morning.
And finally, joining us for an interesting conversation is Debby Felix. She's a Nollywood Nigerian actress, movie producer, writer, and also humanitarian. Known for the movie Another Time, she recently produced the movie What About the Boy Child, a project aimed at changing the narrative of the boy child. Also, she featured in several Nollywood movies, some which are Uncommon Events, Twin Souls, Growing Pain, amongst many others. We can't wait to have our couch conversation with her. Welcome for a Tuesday edition here. Ladies, I always like to start every single time I'm in, amongst you guys by saying, blessed am I amongst women.
And blessed is, okay, let's not finish.
Allow me. Allow me. In any case, talking about women, there's a very interesting submission that we found on Twitter just only a couple of days ago, which we wanted to talk about here. Remember the John Doe guy on Twitter?
Yeah.
This individual, this gentleman, said something about fatherhood and how fathers, it might seem, abdicate the responsibility of fatherhood to other men, and this causes some sort of I don't know what word to use here where women become overly dependent. I don't know if I put it correctly. Mary, help me here.
So, you know, the thing is this. Men always go on and on about women being materialistic. Men go on and on about women being dependent. Men go on and on about women being this, women being that. And I think it's a two-sided coin, really, because women also go off about men like that. So you want a woman who cleans your house. You have not married her. She will come, cook for you, clean for you, do this, do that. And then when she asks for money, you say she's materialistic. Meanwhile, you've taken up the position as a provider. You've made her the housekeeper. Are you getting it? When she asks for payment for her services, for cleaning your house and taking care of you, it becomes a problem.
Payment for services. Wow.
Because the service, because I don't know why you cannot get... No, my darling, it's so easy to employ a housekeeper.
Yes,
provide employment for somebody. Don't use somebody's daughter to be coming to wash your toilets. It's the reality. You get her to do all of that, then you complain when she says, I need money to buy hair.
You even went to the washing toilets part. What of the body maintenance?
Ah, my dear, let's not even go there yet.
Well, in his case, he says that there is a certain shift in mentality when you overly provide as a lover for a woman. I'm not absolutely with him. I don't espouse with everything that he says, but there might be one or two things to take away about how the presence or absence of a father actually affects the outcome.
The father is there.
I honestly don't think that's the situation.
That's not the problem.
I don't think it's whether the father is present or absent. I think it's basically based on the relationship between the man and the woman. And the truth is that, see, as Barry said, there's two sides to this coin, right? Guys are, like you say, okay, ladies are demanding, but guys are also demanding.
Exactly, very. Like, why will you ask for sex from a woman you're not married to? Let's begin from there.
This sounds like what's talking about.
It's wrong.
How about this? Can you ladies discuss this on tomorrow's show? Because it's going to be a
definitely
I can't wait to go right.
I'd like to listen to you guys. By the way, June 19th will be Father's Day.
Have to announce
we do not shout this out enough. Father's Day.
It comes like once every 2 years.
No, every 3 years.
Every 4 years.
No, make that 5.
Okay, great.
Okay, but seriously, shout out to all the fathers. My daddy especially. Happy Father's Day in advance, Daddy. You're the best. Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. We begin with Oshibajo's visit to Owo. Now, let's tell you that prominent Nigerians have been visiting and condoling with the people of Owo in Ondo State over Sunday's gruesome killing of many worshippers at St. Francis Catholic Church. Ayodeji Muradio has details.
One of the early callers in the ancient town of Owo is the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Despite his tight schedule, due to the party's approaching presidential primary in which he's contesting, he visited the palace of the Olowo of Owo, Obagbadi Gesin Ogunwoye, to commiserate with him and the people of the town.
Security situation in the country has to be enhanced, and we have to do everything possible to apprehend those who are involved. Whatever we can do as politicians and the government support.
Because we are very sad about what happened yesterday. As Mr. Governor said, we have never experienced this type of horrendous occurrence.
He proceeded to the Federal Medical Center, Owo, where survivors are being treated.
Children are rendered orphan, and elderly innocent people became victims of sudden attack and sudden death. Yes, we have to be rigorous in our investigation.
Shortly after his visit, the Vice President, Professor Yomi Oshibajo, also paid a condolence visit to the palace of Olowo. He also visited the scene of the incident, where he condemned the attack.
Everyone, north, south, everybody has condemned this, and this is it's a sore in the hearts of every Nigerian. Those who perpetrated this do not represent us in any way. They do not represent Nigeria in any way. These are animals who have behaved in a manner that should ordinarily
The incident has again called attention to the nation's security in their need of attention in order to improve safety of citizens wherever they may be. Ayodeji Morade, your TVC News, Owo.
And let's take this quick break. Of course, we have more to come on the show this morning. You're watching Wake Up Nigeria. Stay with us.
And you're welcome. It's now time to check out the dailies and see what headlines you guys will be waking up to this morning. We're going to be starting from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And right in front, we have this headline: Presidential primary consensus deal collapses as delegates elect APC candidate. I've no anointed candidate, Buhari, NWC divided over Lawan. Northern governors insist on power shift to South. How odds favor Tinubu. Aspirants reach out to delegates in hotels. At the top of the Daily Trust, attacks displaced 2,000 residents. Bandits hijack food truck in Zamfara. And 95% stakeholders unknown as Nigeria Air gets air transport license. At the bottom of the page for the Daily Trust, our church killings. All Nigerians now helpless, says Sultan. And the driver's son, 2 others found dead in room, 8 others unconscious. Shekarau Kabir, Hankuyi, pick NNPP senatorial governorship tickets. And finally, for the Daily Trust, man sues Hadiza Gabon for refusing to marry him. Moving on now to our next daily for this morning, and that, of course, is This Day newspaper. Front and center for This Day newspaper. In Super Tuesday, aspirants narrow to Osibajo, Tinubu, Fayemi, Amechi, Umahi, and Lawan. President warns options reduced further today. Denies anointing anyone, writes delegates, urges voting without bait. At the top of This Day newspaper, Sultan, Archbishop of Canterbury, condemns terrorist attack on our church, says it's crime against humanity. Police launch manhunt for killers as IG condemns dastardly act. Osibajo, Northern Governors Tinubu, Fayemi, Diri, Makinde, Amosu commiserate with Akeredolu, Olowu, and NGF donates 50 million naira to Catholic diocese. At the very bottom of the page, Afrixim Bank backs Titan Trust Bank with a $300 million intra-African investment finance facility. And that's that for This Day paper. Let's move on now to The Nation newspaper this morning. And presidential ticket, Buhari disowns Adamu over Lawan. NWC rejects chairman's position. North's governors insist on power shift to South. And President Buhari has picked Senator Ahmed Lawan as his choice, says Adamu. And Northern governors, we have reaffirmed our position on power shift to South to the president. And there shall be no imposition of any candidate. Nobody will appoint anybody, says Buhari. And we are with the governors on power shift. Chairman is entitled to his opinion on Lawan, says the NWC. At the top of The Nation newspaper, terrorists operated for 30 minutes at our church. Survivors recount. My 70-year-old mom shot dead. Police recovers unexploded bomb. And at the bottom of The Nation this morning, Tinubu tipped to win APC presidential race. And Lamata Oando signed deal for electric mass transit buses in Lagos. And that's as much as we can take for the dailies this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
And you are welcome. It is time for What's Up and About,
Indeed
ladies. Now, a very interesting
is.
conversation.
Yeah.
Might be tallying off of something that we discussed last week when we talked about Japanese or Japa, which is the local trending balance for immigration out of Nigeria. It's a big deal right now, especially with everything going on. People are considering this option. However, what about the consequences of immigration on families, whether as a unit or as an expanded unit, on partners or even on children? Are we considering the fact that this actually has an effect on the individuals that play inside of that unit? Take partners, for instance. When you leave or one partner in a unit leaves, how does the other manage the situation, especially with the kids or even as a person? There's the human need for companionship and coitus and all of that. What happens then? Are we building families? I know.
You just had to glide. Okay, let's go.
You had to bring us back there.
No, we did not.
Are we considering how this is affecting us as a culture? The kind of families we're building eventually when people leave, there's always an effect when you say somebody's not present in the family, whether on you as the other partner or on your kids, especially the children. The absence of a father, like what we talked about from earlier, or the absence of a mother. What does it do to an adult after you're grown? Do you note that there are certain little things or attributes that you, or not factors, effects that it will have on you as an adult that you can't place where it's all coming from.
You probably didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is this: for years, people have always had instances where they have to live apart for a while, especially married couples. But living apart, say, when your marriage is still quite young, is usually frowned at. However, it's become the norm now.
Yeah.
In fact, some people get married virtually. So you're abroad, you send your photos get married to the woman, or your photos get married to the man. No, I've actually witnessed a wedding where the woman lives abroad. She's a Nigerian. She relocated years back, and then her pictures were what the man married.
Wow.
While they started working on his papers, and then he went to join her. But in some cases, you're unable to join because the man is still trying to find his feet for one reason or the other. And so those kind of things cause a lot of friction. And so you see the man getting married to someone else there. And in some cases, the woman even agrees.
Yeah.
So that he can get his papers, and then later he would divorce the Okay, I'm giving too much information.
Anyways, my take on this, to be honest, is I don't know, but I'll say I think based on like families that I know certain information about, I think most times you hardly find, let me not say hardly, but growing up, right, my dad wasn't home most of the time. Right? He wasn't out of the country, he was within, but because of the nature of his job, he got posted very often. And when you have kids, of course, you can't afford to be moving. Do you understand? I think now it has just changed, right? Just now that it's abroad, people are literally moving abroad. But I think most times, and there are even families that are still together, that the father is still absent. The father leaves the house early in the morning, comes back when the kids are asleep, and all of that. Do you understand? So now I think the dynamics have just changed to literally living abroad. But then again, talking about the idea of Japa or the situation of Japa, I think now it's becoming very, very, because some people now,
normalized.
I know, some people actually just getting married, and then the next thing is, okay, I'm moving my wife out of the country, and all of that. And to be honest, we won't really blame them, if you ask me. The present state of this country and the coming elections.
My focus, however, is on the effects. What it's going to turn out to be in the next 20 years when kids in such arrangements grow up, how it affects them. Let's take a look at the situation as is now without the Japa syndrome, when parents are absent, like from our conversation. There are certain years in a child's life that you absolutely need the presence of a father, and there are others where you absolutely need the presence of a mother. You find out that after a certain period of time, children start to overcompensate for the loss, or rather for the absence of any of those partners. By some means or the other, it could be in forms of maybe relationships, always wanting to be in a relationship, or perhaps maybe sometimes it could be some sort of aggression, especially when you hit puberty, you know. And without a father there, you're not attending to that emotional need of that child. Without a mother, I can't remember what age exactly and what the factor is or what the effect is on children, but it's a problem for me noting. Suggestion, I'm thinking, how much easier could it be for families to immigrate or migrate together? I know that it's difficult. I know it's based on your pocket size and what you know, but it's just a thought for me. Everybody's considering this, it would seem. Are you considering it as an individual? Okay, I'll go and you guys can join me later. Or no, we have to live as a family just so that we can protect.
So there are actually several angles to look at it from. There are some men who actually package, I use the word package deliberately, package their family, send them abroad, and hustle in Nigeria. While some men will keep their family here, and then they, you know...
Which is the better option?
For me, the better option is everybody being together.
But if that cannot be afforded,
why shouldn't it be?
Which is why I feel it's even cheaper. I feel that is even cheaper.
It's a lot
having
cheaper,
the whole family together. To be honest,
we have to also consider the fact that yes, there's the cost of you know, renting a suitable place where you arrive, and rent, you know, the exchange rates can be mind blowing. But it's always better to
exchange
have
rates
a very good plan before you leave at the end of the day.
True.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a very good plan.
I've always just thought that perhaps, maybe it is easier for a father to leave, work for the family, exchange rates and everything, care for family.
I think a lot of men have that opinion, and to be honest, I don't know personally. I don't like that idea.
Nah, I don't like it either.
I don't like that. I think it's better you stay as a family unit, even if you have to, maybe not for so long.
Yes, there's no how. Even the woman needs her husband.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Listen, hey, we don't have the solutions, we only have suggestions, and we're hoping that, hey, depending on what your family is like and what your relationship or structure is, you can make up your mind if this is an option for your family.
Absolutely.
But once again, family is key, I will say that. Thank you very much for joining us. To stay tuned, we have more coming your way. Send in your submissions. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC.
Yes.
You are welcome inside the kitchen here with myself, Mazzino, and of course, Chef Zoe Black in the building. Yay! Oh, she broke out the, okay, that's all right. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Last time you were here, we enjoyed your dish. Once again, you're here with another simple but fancy dish, like she put it.
Yes.
What are we having today?
Today I'm making shashuka, which are eggs poached in tomato sauce. It's a Mediterranean dish, and it's perfect for breakfast. So today I was like, let me give you breakfast today, really nice breakfast.
What did you call it again? Shashuka? Shashuka. Okay, well, I can't wait. I can see that we already have all of our ingredients here and
very
everything.
Simple.
So I'm very, very excited about this. You can see them on your screen already. You need some oil basil eggs, some toast garlic, some butter, cumin, onions, pepper, tomatoes, and bell peppers. What are cumins, please? Because I don't know what they are.
Okay, these are seeds. This is one of the things that makes this dish traditionally Mediterranean.
Let's put it on there so they can see it.
Yes.
All right. Now, what exactly are they?
It's a spice from the northern African part of. It's warm. It's nice. It gives food a lovely different kind of flavor. They use it in curries as well. Your curry powder that you have is one of the ingredients they use to make curry powder.
That's inside of curry powder?
That's inside of curry powder.
Wow, that's very interesting. I didn't know that. This might be the first time I'm hearing
Yeah, this is what gives the dish a distinctive
taste.
Warm taste, yes.
Okay, interesting. So along with that is everything else on here. Now, there's something about garlic that people don't understand. Now, this is something that I learned from a chef. I'm not going to tell you the exact place, but yes, it's a fancy place. Not even in Nigeria.
Okay.
But in any case, now he said people often do not like that powerful smell that garlic has, especially even after you've eaten it. But the secret is in how you cut it. The smaller it is, the better it is for you to ingest, and you don't have that powerful smell when you eat it, or after you've eaten it when you do that.
Yeah.
But so I see that you have yours real tiny diced, very little, in little pieces and all. So I'm looking forward to that. And everything is already prepared. What are those, basil?
This is basil, but a different kind of basil. We have different varieties. This one is Thai basil. I love the taste. It's very close to scent leaf per se. Scent leaf is what we call African basil, in case you didn't know that.
Yeah, because I was looking at that and I'm a botanist, so it didn't look familiar. So I'm not familiar with this.
No, this is Thai basil and some parsley for my garden as usual.
Oh, you garden as well?
Yeah.
I garden as well.
Oh, that's nice.
In my father's house, I don't have space in my house.
I don't, but I do like urban gardening. So I have like flower pots with little different herbs that I grow.
I don't think people, garden enough. I mean, growing up, it was a thing that kids could do. You had your own little portion. I still have my garden from 30 years ago, in my father's house. But kids these days don't really do that. I don't know. There's not enough space. It's a concrete jungle. Nobody, you can't. I feel for these kids, but that's good to know that it's homegrown. That's fantastic. Thanks. All right, so let's get started. What are we going to do first?
Okay, we're going to make our base, which is the sauce, and everything is just the way you make a typical sauce. We're going to saute our onions, our garlic, and the peppers, and our spices. And when that is ready, we're just going to break the eggs into little nests in the tomato sauce. So this is not like...
Nest, you said nests.
Yes.
Now, on this side, first I'm going to help you put on our, stove here. Now, these are very interesting little pans.
So I want to make individual portions. So after I cook off my sauce, I'm going to put them here, then poach the eggs in individual portions. These are cast iron skillets.
I noticed they are very, very heavy.
Yes, they are.
Now, for a layman who does not understand anything apart from the map between the living room and the kitchen, when you say poach, what exactly do you mean?
Poaching is cooking, is a soft method of cooking. You can cook like eggs, fish, chicken, nothing too hard with that method. So what you do is you take a base, which is either butter or like we're using right now, the tomato sauce, and just drop it gently, low heat, and allow it to cook in its form.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I remember we're cooking shashuka. Shashuka is what we're cooking. I'm going to help you fire up our ovens, as well, our stove already. Now, let's give them another look at exactly what the menu is, or rather what the ingredients are. They're oil, basil, eggs, toast, garlic, some butter, some cumin, onion, pepper, and also tomato, bell peppers. So we're going to get started already. What do we do first? Noticing that everything's on already. You might not need this one, so I'm going to put that one off.
So we're just going to start sauteing our onions and our garlic and
please, go ahead.
Our peppers.
If you need my help, I'll be right here doing nothing. Okay, sauteing with oil. What kind of oil is your choice?
Olive oil of choice.
Okay.
That's, I prefer using olive oil, but use whatever oil you can find.
Okay.
So there's good vegetable oil out there that would work as well.
Okay, okay, interesting. I'm going to help put some of these back there. Which ones do you need absolutely now? You need the...
I just need my base. Let me start with my base first.
Starting with the
so
base.
That would be my...
Put these all behind. Now, do remember now that these are very easy ingredients that you can find at your grocery store. So, go all out. Just get these ingredients and follow us through the process. It's going to take a maximum of how many minutes to put all of this together?
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes, and you're done with
quick.
breakfast, you're out of the house, the kids can enjoy it, you can enjoy it. If you stick around here with us, we're going to try and extend that time so you can see every single process as we're going through with it. So don't you worry, if you miss out on anything, I will always remind you exactly how it's going on. Chef Zoe here is fantastic at what she does. I promise you, you're going to love this. It's already looking good, so let's just hang in there. Now, while we're getting this started, ladies and gentlemen, it's still Wake Up Nigeria. We've got so much to come on the show. We're going to do a short break. We'll be back.
Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. And right about now, joining us on health to talk about key facts to preventing avoidable blindness in Nigeria is seasoned optometrist Dr. Okare Collins Akpobome. He is the lead optometrist at the Vision Craft Eye Clinic. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria for the very first time. How are you doing this morning?
Thanks so much. It's a pleasure being here.
I hope I got the name correctly.
You were very close.
Hey, still very close.
You were this close. So it's actually Akpobome.
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 Now you got it.
Sorry, Mazino. Well done. Thanks. Okay, so welcome to Wake Up Nigeria. Once again, it's a pleasure to have you here. So today we're talking about key tips of avoiding, or rather, avoiding avoidable blindness. Preventing avoidable blindness, right? But before we go into that, right, it always fascinates me when I meet doctors and then they have to specialize, right? Because when I was in law school, there was the struggle of, okay, fine, if we're asked to pick one, like I enjoy reading all of this, how do I narrow it down to one? So what was it about eyes or vision that actually got you so attracted to literally just want to study all of it?
I think somehow it's just this natural interest I have, or I've always had. But besides this natural interest, there has always been the environmental factors. And by environmental factors, I'm actually talking about people nearby, things and people I see around me, you know. And then there is this particular story that actually piqued my interest to go into eye care. And that was, there's this neighbor I had then, you know, that suddenly just woke up and went blind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, the usual African, there were a lot of speculations, witches and witchcraft and all of that. And then I have actually seen that happen and play out over a couple, you know, I mean, across several people actually. Yeah. Somehow that actually piqued my interest into going into eye care.
Yeah, oh, really? Yeah, okay, amazing. So today now we're talking about ways to prevent avoidable blindness, right? And earlier we're actually talking about how, or I was asking you why, I mean, you had a lot of northern experiences. I was asking you why that. And you actually said there you actually get to see a whole lot of these cases, right? Yeah. And I asked, okay, fine, is there a reason why? And you spoke about stuff like the weather. So now I'd like to ask, what are these ways we can prevent avoidable blindness?
Thinking about ways to prevent avoidable blindness, I think the first thing we have to do is to get this cultural shift from self-medication. Okay. So a lot of people actually do not even consider eye drops to be medications. You look like you're part of them. Okay, so a lot of people do not consider eye drops to be medications. But these are medications. They can be toxic. They can be harmful. They can be life-threatening. They can be sight-threatening. You know, so when we have this long-standing culture of everybody is almost a doctor, you wake up in the morning, your eyes are red. Instead of going to the clinic, the next thing you assume is, okay, it is conjunctivitis or it is Apollo. And then, of course, you look guilty.
No.
And then the next thing you run off to the
May I see
to the
eye drop
chemist.
as cosmetics? That's just by the way.
No, it's not. It's nowhere near. So that overdependence on self-medication actually is something that we have to look for a way to stop. If we're talking about, as basic as that is, if we're looking at preventing avoidable blindness, self-medication is one key thing that we have to look at stopping, all right? And then the issue of one eye drop solves it for everybody is something that we have to stop as well. So, for example, let's say Mr. A has this red eye or this condition, probably, let's say uveitis, for example. Patient A has uveitis, he goes to the eye clinic, he gets a medication, is placed on strong steroid therapy that would actually help with that condition. It resolves. The next thing, Mr. B has red eye, that may have nothing to do with uveitis. And just a purulent bacterial discharge, for which you really do not need that steroid. But then because it worked for Mr. A, for his red eye, it should work for me as well. So that mentality of one eye drop solves it for everybody actually is something that we have to learn to discontinue. And then secondly is this over-dependence on traditional therapy, traditional drugs, traditional medications. Yeah, there are some traditional medications that actually are NAFDAC certified. But then when we're talking about eye drops and topical solutions that you have to apply on your eyes, knowing fully well that most traditional medications have alcohol as their base, as the base compound, or as there is usually always alcohol. Now, imagine having to instill alcohol over your eyes, and you do that over a period of time. That is corneal ulcer looking at you in the eye. That is one form of visual. The whole thing just gets worse. So that overdependence. And then there is this issue I also have to talk about that falls into this category of traditional, and that's the fact that there are a lot of persons who actually, I have noticed, this is not hearsay, there are a lot of persons who actually use urine.
Hey.
Yes.
Wow.
It will sound shocking, but there are a lot of persons who actually use urine.
In their eyes.
Yes, on their eyes. It's something that has been passed on from grandmother or great-grandmother to grandmother. So it looks disgusting, it sounds disgusting, but I have seen it countless times in practice.
So now what can be the effect of that on the eyes?
There are a lot of effects. Let me give you one clinical example. So there was a patient I saw while I was serving, while I was working in Zaria, for example, Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria. And this woman, of course, had long-standing gonorrhea, gonococcal infection. All right. Now imagine that person still wakes up and believes in using morning urine as a form of medication for her eyes. So at the end of the day, we had full-blown panophthalmitis and something else, you know, coming out from there. So these are some of the little bits that we really have to look at. And then, do we have time?
No, keep going.
Another thing we have to talk about is there is this thing I refer to as not my portion syndrome. That a lot of Nigerians actually have. This idea of it is not my portion. You know, you go to the hospital, For heaven's sake, you went to the hospital because you were feeling somehow. Now, you get there, the doctor carries out procedures, carries out tests, and then tells you, okay, madam, from all investigations, this is likely what is wrong with you, and you would have to be on medications. Let's treat this. And the next thing is, I serve a living God. It is, you know, the whole... and our clergymen are actually not helping because they found a way of pitching God against medicine, whereas both of them can actually coexist mutually. Both of them. So it doesn't have to be an issue of whose reports do you believe. If for heaven's sake, you're hypertensive, just get on your amlodipine and get it down. There is no faithing it out and all of that. So, let me give you one instance, still on this whole over religiousness. So there was a colleague of mine, I don't know if you've noticed, almost every bus you enter in Lagos, there is always one person that sells, you know, there's always one person that sells a drug that cures typhoid, cures gonorrhea, staph, cures infertility. You know, there's always that one person that sells that drug. And it happened the other time, my colleague was in a vehicle, so he made a video and actually showed us someone in the bus selling an eye drop, you know, called Jesus Heal eye drop. And telling people that whatever condition, eye condition you're having, long-sightedness, short-sightedness, glaucoma, this and that, you can discontinue your medication and use Jesus Heal, you know, eye drop. And we know how very dire the consequences are for a glaucoma patient having to skip medications or having to skip doses. The consequences are actually very critical. But then when you have a society where everybody believes in, you need to see the people who were actually rushing to buy this eye drop.
Yes,
not because of the combination, but because it was called Jesus Heal eye drop.
He knows that was the selling point. Okay,
that's exactly the thing.
So now, okay, so I have this question, right? You're talking about people that even go to the hospital and then they give a report and then they reject it, right? Yes. How about getting people to even go to the hospital? Because in certain cases, especially when it comes to eye care, I don't think a lot of people pay close attention to their eyes. For instance, now, I can wake up someday and have itchy eyes. And to be honest, I won't go to the hospital because my eyes are itching me. I'll just itch it or ignore it. Do you understand? Or teary eyes and things like that. So now, what are the tips, right? Or rather, what will you say are the signs we should look out for? And like when we have those symptoms, should actually take us to the hospital, right? That, and also just round up with giving us a general eye care tip, exactly. So like ways we can care for our eyes better.
First of all, I think let's talk about the signs and symptoms that should actually preempt you to go to the clinic. The truth is, you needn't really wait to get signs and symptoms before you make yourselves available for an eye care.
Okay.
The time has come where people should just make routine eye care more or less standard practice. You really do not have to feel itchy. You really do not have to see redness before you go to the clinic. You know, in the part of Delta where I come from, they say it is a concealed sore that eats to the bone. And you know what that means. So most of these sight-threatening conditions, the real sight-threatening conditions, are usually asymptomatic. You wouldn't feel pain. For example, glaucoma, that is the leading cause of irreversible blindness. You wouldn't feel pain. There will be no itching. There will be nothing. Everything looks normal. So how often should
we go for healthcare?
Well, as often as you can. Every 6 months if it's not an emergency. Of course. Every 6 months you can.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, like I would love to go on and on, but then again, at this point, we actually have to go because we don't have so much time. But then again, we're having you next week. Awesome. So definitely looking forward to that conversation.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. So right about now, Mazino, what's happening in the kitchen?
A lot is happening in the kitchen. If only you just let us do this here, because it looks like we're getting somewhere already. Right now, what we have is everything inside of the pan, our bell peppers, the tomatoes. What else do we have in there, Zoe?
Onions, garlic, black pepper, cumin seed, salt.
Okay.
So that's like the base. Our sauce base is just getting ready.
Okay, so is it edible as it is?
It is.
Can I try it?
Yes, you can.
I'm just curious, not because, you know, I just want to know when I'm trying it at home, if I'm at every stage doing the right thing. So this is what I do. So hope it's not going to burn me. Oh.
Has a kick to it, spicy.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, what's that minty thing?
It's the cumin. It's not minty per se, but it has a...
It's like a burst, like...
Yeah.
It's all over. So that's what it tastes like.
That's what it tastes like, exactly.
Oh, you guys should try this. It tastes really good already, and we're not even done yet. This is not the finished product.
This is not the finished product.
What else is it? Ooh, wow. Ooh, wow. That's hot. What else is going to go in there?
Okay, so now the sauce is done. I have my individual skillet. I'm just going to quickly dish them out into a smaller skillet, then poach the eggs in it.
Now, these are just, you put them in the pan just to make them brown a bit.
Yes.
Yeah? All right, that's good. Just keeping you guys abreast of everything that's going on here. You can see it's a nice brown on there. And that's not agege bread, by the way. This is very different from agege bread. Can I use agege bread, however?
No, you can use whatever you want to use.
Any kind of bread? What about flat kind?
Freestyle.
Okay,
it's usually served with like pita bread.
Oh, good, that one. Okay, fantastic. So there you can use any kind of bread you want. That's what it looks like there.
Oh, nice.
Coming very nicely. And I'm very, very sure that the ladies are jealous of what's happening inside the kitchen. Who wouldn't be if you're with this chef and this kind of a meal going on? Aren't you jealous, Winfried and Mary?
It's okay to eat leaves. Our money grows like grass.
Our money grows like Oh, wow.
Okay. You want to shade us?
They thought they were.
I wasn't planning on.
They thought they could cut
I wasn't planning on shading you, the ladies.
There was no cut.
There was no cut. Not
there was no cut.
Not a single cut. Welcome to the second hour of Wake Up Nigeria this morning. I was literally going to say Mazida has been on bad behavior, so we said about the studio, but that was interrupted.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
I don't know.
Okay.
The men are doing things because of Father's Day that is coming.
Tomorrow
they started Father's Day from June 1. 19 should come and go. Hey. Okay, let's tell you what's happening this hour.
Yes, of course. And we have a whole lot still coming up.
I should let you know, though, that she's Winfried Daniel Okolo Agbeleche.
Hey.
Yeah, so it's a full stop you had at the end of it. My name is Mary Bashwa Alimi. My name is no longer the longest on the show.
My name is Winfried Agbeleche.
How are you doing like
There's nothing in between. No. Yours is the longest. Continue. Anyways, we have so much coming up. And of course, definitely we should try new foods with our kids, right? So talking about our kids like I have children. No, I don't. Anyways, let's not punish them when they actually not eat their food and they're picky around food. So we definitely will have Oluyemisi Agoro. She's definitely an astute HR professional with almost 10 years multi-industry experience. She's a well-experienced career woman, and of course is passionate about listening and sharing motherhood ideas and mothers who needs them, to mothers who need them.
Then, of course, we'll have Feyitayo Eniola Polibi, popularly known as Feyi Sax, a fast-growing music minister. Today, she will be performing for us, and we cannot wait to hear her.
Finally joining us for an interesting conversation is Debby Felix, who is a Nollywood Nigerian actress, movie producer, writer, and humanitarian, known for the movie Another Time. She'll be joining us later on for a conversation.
You are not found by ordinary home death.
Great. Okay. Can't wait for that interview. Going to be fun, fun, fun.
It is going to be fun, fun, fun. Okay, so taking up from where we stopped on Coffee Gist. Okay. And a lot of back and forth in between since then. And so I just feel we need to point out the fact that this whole Japa thing, at the end of the day, yes, it's for your good as a family. But if it's not working, there's no shame in retracting. I've seen so many people go, abroad, and then they can't send money home, and they feel like failures. Come back
You want them to come back after all of that money spent, all of the expectation from family.
So is it better to,
and you better make it work.
Real your life. How can you say better make it work?
To be honest,
my point is, if you're not sure it's not going to work, don't endeavor.
That's the thing. So many people go into it without planning well.
But the truth is that there's no certainty.
Yes.
Everything is a risk.
It's a risk.
Right? We have to take. And to be honest, in my opinion, sometimes, I think men actually use it as a way out. Seriously. To be very honest, I feel men intentionally
abandon their families.
Not abandon, but like send their families away just to have that time to themselves. I'm serious.
We'll give you money.
And most times men are of the opinion that, oh no, it's fine. Even when the woman is trying to look at, actually you mentioned doing it at a very early stage of marriage, right? Even when the woman is trying to say, okay, you know what, I think it's too early for this and all of that. We need to be together to bond and all of that. But the man's like, no, we have to literally go and make better choices for our kids and things like that. So,
and the next thing, they'll tell you that, like some people's story that we heard recently, We have to marry a Nigerian wife.
Yes, because the mothers
cannot live alone. We need companionship.
There was the unfortunate story last week of the gentleman who travelled and only 2 weeks after got killed by a drunk driver.
2 months.
2 months after.
Yes, it got very sad. Like, how can you work so hard? Borrowed money from Yabiliki, from Ya Anthony, Mr. Okonkwo. They are expecting their money. You now get there. One drunk driver now ends.
It was a very sad one, and
very
I
sad.
just hope that that's not the common occurrence. But
thank you for staying tuned. Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. Now, we begin this hour in Abuja, where President Muhammadu Buhari has told northern APC governors that he does not have a preferred candidate in the contest to clinch the presidential ticket of the party. The governors also informed the president of their decision to support the emergence of a presidential candidate from the south. The meeting between President Buhari and the northern governors is part of ongoing efforts to consult, build consensus, and come up with a formidable candidate that will challenge the People's Democratic Party at next year's presidential election. TVC News State correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
Northern APC governors are sticking to their guns. They insist the presidential ticket of the party should be zoned to the south. They have also told President Buhari the reason they are advocating for a power shift. They also revealed that Mr. President emphatically said he does not have a preferred candidate.
Any candidate was emerged through a transparent process. And the emphasis that Mr. President told us that for this election, for now, he has no anointed candidate. And therefore directed that this forum complete the progressive forum, governors forum, meet with the National Working Committee of the party.
But not all the APC northern governors are on the same page. Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello, who is also a presidential aspirant, has continued with his campaigns, consultations, and lobbying. He refused to align with the decision of his colleagues from the north, even at the risk of not getting their support.
The governor of Kogi State chose to excuse himself from meeting with Mr. President because he believes that he does not agree with our position. There are 14 APC governors out of the 19 northern states. 13 of us are on one page on this subject, and we all came to see the president. But the governor of Kogi State excused himself, and it is within his democratic rights to excuse.
The northern APC governors are a strong power bloc in the party, but it is not clear if this time their influence will determine the outcome of the primary election. Their meeting with the National Working Committee will pile more pressure on the APC as the showdown to pick a presidential flag bearer for the party enters a crucial stage. President Buhari told the APC northern governors that he does not have preference for any of the aspirants. This is a sharp contrast to what we are hearing from the APC national chairman, who says Ahmed Lawan is the party's consensus candidate. But clearly now it seems the APC northern governors will not support any aspirant from the north. For now in the APC, the stakes are very high and there is so much uncertainty. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
And that's it on the news update for today on Wake Up Nigeria. Now we have so much more for you on the show. Make sure you stay with us. All right, it's time for us to have a conversation on parenting. And today promises to be really interesting, especially if feeding your children has been a cause of concern lately. Should we try new food or punish our children when they refuse to eat? That's the question today. And to do justice on that via parenting, we will definitely have Oluyemisi Agoro. As a matter of fact, she is right here. She's an astute HR professional with almost 10 years multi-industry experience. She's a well-experienced career woman, obviously, as well as a mother, and she is passionate about listening to and, of course, sharing motherhood ideas with mothers who need them. And so if you're a mother or a father who might need it, she's here with us. How are you doing today?
Doing very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Okay, so picky eating. First off, let's establish what exactly is picky eating.
Okay, so picky eating, you know, it's a range, right? But basically it's defined as when children are averse to certain foods, either because it tastes funny, it looks funny, it smells funny, they just don't like the idea of it, and so they refuse to eat it.
So that is the definition of picky eating.
Yes, please.
Now, let's talk about what to do if you find out you have a picky eater as a parent. So many parents, on average, will just flog that child and say, see, it is what I have, you will eat. And it is as I've given you, you must consume it. But then you are begging to differ. How so?
I am begging to differ. It's because, you know, you have to first find out the reason why the child is a picky eater. You know, for some children, it just may be that the food does not tickle their fancy. You know, they just rather not. And those children react like, oh, I don't want it. And then you can easily convince them like, oh, just try, and they'll eat. But for some children are sensitive to textures, and that's the other extreme end. And when you put the food they don't want in their mouth, they gag and they choke. If you beat that child, I mean, it's counterproductive. The child is helpless at that point, right? So it's really a range. Your response, you know, will depend on the spectrum of picky eating your child is on.
So when you talk about spectrum, what do you mean by spectrum?
Like I said, there's the easy ones where, oh, they just don't feel like this rice is green. I'd prefer orange rice, you know.
So do you use food coloring then?
No, green rice in this case is fried rice.
Yeah, very interesting names.
Yeah, I know, right? So the pediatrician actually says that when a child refuses a food, you know, for no reason, it may just be the child's natural defenses kicking in, preventing an allergic reaction.
So now, you've established that, okay, we shouldn't spank the child, right?
Oh, no, you shouldn't.
So what do we do?
Okay, so you can go from familiar foods to unfamiliar food. Let them get comfortable, you know. If they like mashed potatoes and sauce, you know, you can graduate from that to potatoes and fish sauce. Then you can graduate from that to potatoes and eggs. Then you can graduate from that to eggs and something else. You know, you ease them into it because it's a whole transition. It's a huge deal, right? And you don't, spanking is counterproductive. I think that has already been established. You basically have to help them overcome whatever their hang-up is about the food, you know. But it takes time and a lot of patience and a lot of frustration on the parent's end too. But hey, that's why you're the parent, Abby.
Yeah, but you know, many parents are very busy these days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you have, you know, you spend a lot of money getting different meals for your child. And then when the child is supposed to eat, the child says, I don't want this, or picks out the onions, or picks out the carrots that you know the child needs to grow well. It can be really frustrating, which is why some parents just hit out. They're actually angry, so they're lashing out.
Oh, yeah.
So if a parent that doesn't have that time, so to speak, to help the child, you know, find out what works and what doesn't, what should such a parent do?
Just cook what they like. Just make it as nutrient-dense as possible and as balanced as possible. So if you need to hide carrots inside by blending the carrots and, you know what I mean? Like, I hide veggies in my in my son's food. I blend carrots and I mix it in his oats or something because he likes oats, but he doesn't like carrots. But he needs vitamins.
But then he will taste the carrots and then he will say he doesn't want it.
I'll explain it away.
You explain it away?
Oh, yes. It's tasting somehow. It's just today. Just eat it. You know, you just do what you have to do. You make the foods as nutrient-dense as possible so that the little they eat, at least it's balanced and it can work.
Yeah, just as an aside, one thing I learned recently was some children, it might not even be that they are choosy about food. They might just be choosy about temperature. Yeah. Some children cannot stand cold food, while some cannot stand hot food. And they can eat anything, but just because of that. And then you as a parent, because you're not patient, you lose out. Because you think, this child is a picky eater. No picky eater. You know, I just don't want my food at a certain temperature.
Which is normal. So what you have to understand is that children mirror adults' behavior. There are adults that cannot eat cold food.
Yes.
In fact, there are adults that cannot eat hot food. There are adults that cannot eat yesterday's rice.
Yeah.
That's the same way children have preferences. You know, but because they have serious nutritional needs, you have to find a way to work around their preferences and give them as balanced a diet as possible.
You know what, Oluyemisi Agoro, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Enjoyable conversation. Thank you.
So much.
Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. And finally, joining us for an interesting conversation is Debby Felix, a Nollywood Nigerian actress, movie producer, writer, and humanitarian, known for the movie Another Time.
Yes, indeed. And she recently produced the movie What About the Boy Child? And also that's a project aimed at changing the narrative about the boy child. Also, she featured in several Nollywood movies, in which are Uncomfortable Events, Twin Souls, Growing Pain, amongst others. And she's also on Ndani, if I'm not mistaken, for what's that called again?
Love Like This.
Love Like
Love
This.
Like This.
Yes.
Good to have you here, Debby Felix.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank
You're
you.
such a warm person. I can see that already. Your aura is very
subtle and
like
nice
butter.
and warm.
Well, good to have you here. I find you very unique. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because when I was doing a bit of research about you, I discovered that your very first experience in Nollywood was a lead role. How does anybody do that? Who do you know? Who's your father?
God.
Big God.
Nice one. Nice.
But how did that happen? What was the experience like? And that was for, what was that?
Udwak Isong.
Yeah, Udwak is...
African Magic, Another Time.
So, Another Time, exactly. What was the experience like?
It was very challenging because before then I'd not acted anything, not featured in anything before.
Wow.
Not even on stage, not even in school, nothing.
Nothing.
And I think that was my first audition. Yeah.
So you actually went for the audition, you got selected for the role?
Prior to that, I was in Royal Arts Academy.
Okay.
And so they sent us there to audition, not to get a role, but to just see how auditioning was.
Yeah, yeah. As part of the learning process, you know what it's like, know how to control your nerves, know how to perform in front of a set of people that want to judge you.
Yes.
Like that.
Have you gone to acting school before?
No, but I've done a lot of auditions for people.
Oh.
But so I get it. But it was also for them. It must have been quite a I don't want to say a risk, but a penny to pay.
Yes, it was.
You know, someone who's just straight out of performing school.
So were you nervous?
I was.
Okay.
I was very nervous.
So how did you handle
but
that?
on set, I think while we were acting, I went to have my bath and I washed my makeup off, which you're not meant to do. So, and they were like, "Why did you wash your makeup off?" I said I was sweating, I was tired. And on my first time, I was very inexperienced.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So even when you pulled that off rightly and nicely, because I mean the turnout, I mean the results just nobody would ever know. So I guess you're a natural. Let's just put it like so.
Well, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, so I have this question, right? It doesn't seem it seems like acting found you.
I have always wanted to act.
Okay.
And I think I've always loved acting. I've always wanted to know what it feels like to be other people, to be in your shoes. You know, so that was my.
So
I was
all
curious.
of your experience, is there that one moment that actually stands out as something that you would say that this was the prize or is the prize, or is it still up in the future? Is there any experience in all your experience of acting that stands as an iconic moment for you as an actress? I mean, there must be many, but then maybe just one.
One highlight.
Well,
if you haven't experienced it, it's a good thing.
I think it was when I presented the awards at the EMVCA, an award at the EMVCAs, and I was in 2019, 2020, I think. So I had no idea because I played a lead role for African Magic on Broken.
Okay.
And I had no idea I was going to be attending, and then I got a mail that I was going to be presenting an award. So it was.
Did that feel like a moment of recognition for you?
Yes, it did.
There you go.
So when it comes to acting now, what would you say the future is for you, right? What has the experience been so far, and like what would you say you wanted to evolve into?
For now, I really have no idea. I'm just.
You're just going the journey.
Yeah, and just doing it. But I really want to be a household name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for me, I think acting is a platform to actually push.
Your agenda. Okay.
I've got one question for you here. Now, let's take a look at old Nollywood. Let's take a look at new Nollywood. Let's take a look at all the iconic names, female actors who are in the business right now. If there's any one of them that you'd pick and say, this is the person I want as an anchor, person I want to be like, or even supersede, Who would it be? Don't
And
spare.
why?
Just tell us. Be expressive.
So many people.
No, we need one person.
Why do you need one person?
One person. There must be someone.
So we know how, or rather what to expect, should I say?
Exactly.
Right? So we know how your
I
acting
really
trajectory is going.
I really admire Inse Ipe-Etim, I admire Genevieve Nanji, and many others.
I'll tell you something about Nse. I love her. As a person as well, meeting her, I thought she was very fantastic. But as an actress, she's so powerful.
Passionate.
The right words are coming out. All those words go.
Yeah.
So if that's who you see as an idol, then, well, you've got it all working out for you, quite frankly, because that is quite a challenge in itself.
It is.
To pick somebody
True.
like that as an idol. Because, wow. That's some work you got.
True. So now let's talk about the movie you produced about the male child.
About the boy child?
What's about the boy child? Okay, so why? I think I have an idea of what it's like, but like, tell us more about it.
It was basically to change the narrative because I visited the juvenile in Abeokuta when I was serving, and I saw so many. I don't know if I'm talking about it. I saw so many boys, so many. I mean, 13 years, 14 years, and you ask them, "Why are you here?" I'm here for rape. I'm here for stealing. I'm here for. So I got home and I could not. I could not rest. I kept thinking about it. And then it just came, what about the boy child? I mean, we've paid so much attention. I don't get me wrong. It's okay to pay attention to the girl child. But when you get to homes, you see the parents telling the girl or telling the girl child how to live, how to be respectful, how to build up a home. Well, you don't tell that to your boys. You don't tell that to your male child. You just leave him. You see the girl in the kitchen, you just leave him. Playing football somewhere, and you say because he's a man. A man is not allowed to express himself. He'll be called weak. I think men naturally are just pressured to be in a box, to be what they are not. I mean, they're humans, but we're trying to make them superhumans, starting from.
When they're young.
When
they're young.
Okay, so you felt the need to actually capture all of that.
Yes, just a very short film.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yes.
Did you produce that one as well?
Yeah, she did produce that one.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Let's see that clip once again of your acting, and then when we get back, we'll have you inside of the kitchen to have something very delicious that I have prepared. Actually, Chef Zoe Black prepared. I know. But you'll love it. It's fantastic. But let's check this clip out.
To make you forgive me. If there was something I could do, something I could magically say to make all this go away, I would. Hello? Nimi? Are you there?
Welcome back. And just before I say anything, please nobody touch that. That's reserved for me. Can you guys look at what we have prepared here? It looks fantastic.
I touched it. What are you going to do about it?
It's called
Shashuka.
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 That's what it's called. And it looks delicious already. I can't wait to eat it. I'm claiming that one already, please. I'm serious, guys. I'm serious.
Okay.
But we have Debby Felix in here.
Yes,
She can't even wait. She has already grabbed the fork already.
Debbie Felix.
This was made just for you.
I'll take it.
We anticipated you here. Zoe Black is going to tell us exactly what is in there.
Yeah. So those are eggs poached in like a spicy tomato sauce. I hope you're not afraid of a little bit of spice.
Okay.
So that's as spicy as you are. So
ooh, that's something. It sounds like something I would say. Chef Zoe Black, stop!
Okay.
I was warned not to say that, but you gonna done it for me.
Yes. So you can have a bit of the egg.
That actually tastes really nice, though.
Yeah, it looks good already.
Yes.
The bread is amazing.
So what she did was she broke the egg inside of. She poached it inside of the sauce. Very low steam or low.
Very nice.
Yeah.
No heat.
Thank you.
Nice, isn't it?
I won't stop eating.
Yeah, obviously she can't.
Wow.
It looks delicious already, and I can't wait to have my own share. Well, thank you very much for.
She's trying to let you know that you've already had yours.
Whoa, late. What? Can you guys end the show? I have a great. End the show already.
Thank you so much to everyone who's been a part of the show today.
Yes.
What?
15.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show can't wait. Thank you for everybody, to everybody who was here from 7 a.m. up until now to join us at the start up until the end. We say thank you to all our guests, especially you, Debby Felix, and everybody at home. Thank you, Zoe Black, for coming over and for the meal.
Thank you.
We'll be catching you guys for tomorrow's edition for Women's Crush Wednesday.
Which one is Women's Crush? Where
wow.
Women Wednesday.